Recording is on.
Welcome back to another video on the channel. Today I'm joined by my second guest doing another player interview, and I'm pleased to say I'm joined by Victoria Allen, a young GB tennis player. First up, Victoria, thank you for joining me on the channel and welcome. How are you doing?
Thanks. Yeah, it's great to be here. Yeah, I'm doing well. I've got back on court now because they've lifted some of the rules. So yeah, I'm just training really.
Are you back in the UK now, or are you still over in America?
Yeah, I came back in middle of March. They ended our season, so then we were told to get out while we could. So I got out within a few days of finding out it was over. Really.
Yeah. I first saw you play back in 2018, I think, at the Manchester Trophy. I remember you watching, I think I did an interview with you actually after your second round qualifying match. You then went on to reach the quarterfinal of the Australian Open Juniors. So was it always in the plan, in the works, to move to America, and how did that move sort of come about, moving to Florida?
Yeah, like it was always I had it as an option from when I was about 16. Just because I think you never know what's going to happen. So my plan was to sort of play and then see how things look for me, like ranking wise and like funding wise, and also like personally because if you go to college in America, you then are able to play whilst getting your degree as well. So in the end, I did actually have a good year before I left, but I just for me, I wanted to go and have that other experience of playing whilst getting that degree.
Yeah, because there's obviously sacrifices when you move to places like America. Obviously, your family and friends you leave behind. But as you say, you were playing very well in the ITFs, and you were competing with the very top juniors, reaching the quarterfinal of a Grand Slam, as I say. So was that also a difficult decision to sort of put that on hold and go to uni? And so you couldn't compete in the ITFs and the Grand Slams, but was that also a difficult decision in that sense?
Yeah, because it my plan was to like play college tennis like while I was out there, and then in the summer I'd come back and play ITFs. But it's only like you're almost doing that part time. But I was still happy with my decision just because you play so many matches out there and you're still training and improving. So yeah, it was difficult, and the fact that it wouldn't be pro tennis for most of the year, but I was still comfortable with the decision I'd made.
What benefits have you found, do you think, moving to the US, like not in tennis, but just like in sort of lifestyle and personality and culture? What benefits have you found, and what have you enjoyed about moving?
A lot really. Like I've met a lot of people. Like I lived on campus this year, and I got roomed with like beach volleyball players. So you meet a lot of different athletes, and you get to see their training and like their culture as well. And there's people from like all over the world there. So you like there's that sense of like even though you're far away from home, you're still with people who are in the same situation as you. And yeah, I really love the team environment as well because at FSU, like even if you're not in the same sport, you're still on the same team, so everyone's supporting each other. Really, I think that's a really great part of going to university in America.
I think when you've got things like this as well, like Zoom and Skype and stuff, it makes it a bit easier that you can see your friends and family back at home. I know it's not the same, but it's a lot better than what it used to be.
Yeah, definitely.
So just talking about the tennis and the benefits of college tennis, I've spoken to, I know Paul Job and Ryan Peniston sort of went down a similar route playing college tennis, and they say it helps with sort of your competitiveness and building up momentum, and you're playing all the time and also being part of that team. You're playing for other people rather than just yourself, which helps with performance, and you're always wanting to better yourself and improve as a team. Is that something you've found as well?
Yeah, definitely. I definitely agree with that. It is you do improve because you're in that team environment, so you feel almost more pressure because if you lose, then often your team loses. So there's more pressure, which makes it almost easier when you come out because you're only playing for yourself when you play on the pro circuit. but it's even though there's pressure, it's still really enjoyable because you're all wanting each other to win, and you've got extra support. Like you're not just there on your own. So yeah.
Mm. So I think a lot of players have they do find it difficult traveling on their own, and if you get injuries, you're sitting out and you're working at home alone. It's obviously an individual sport. I think being a part of that team as well and creating friends and playing doubles is definitely good for the mental side, and not just the playing side as well. Moving on. So, yeah, as I say, I watched you back in 2018 at the Manchester Trophy. I remember you having a great serve and backhand, a very exciting and entertaining game style. So, how would you say your game's developed since you moved to America, and how much do you think you've improved your own game?
Yeah, I think I've improved quite a lot. I've developed more skills now, so I come to the net more often and execute better on that. Using more of like drop shot as well. So yeah, I think I've just been improving like serve and volley I put into my game now. And yeah, it's just improving my game at the net. All those sort of skills.
Mm. So you earned a place on the ITA All Americas Honours list, which I saw. So congratulations for that. You went 12-3 during your 2020 double season, helping Florida to finish second, I believe. So how do you sort of reflect on your first season in America? And are you happy that you made the move?
Yeah, I think it was a really good first season. Like I couldn't have gone much better until obviously the virus came. We had to stop. But yeah, it was really just so great to play in that team environment. Like, I've never really done that before, and that it was just exciting and results wise, yeah, everything went well. Me and my doubles partner obviously earning that award was amazing, quite unexpected. And the team as a whole, we finished number two, so it literally couldn't have done much better, really. So yeah.
Yeah, there's obviously lots of different ways into the sport. So when you're a teenager playing regionals or nationals, you get to like 17, 18, you're thinking about whether to go to a UK university or an academy abroad full time, or the US tennis route like yourself. Is it a route that you would sort of recommend, and what advice would you give to younger players thinking about their future in the sport?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's sometimes people think if you go to America, then you won't become like a professional player afterwards. But I think that's like the wrong mindset to have, and I know that is changing now. But I think advice to like younger players I would give is that don't rule that out as an option because the level out there is so high, and you're getting all this support and whilst earning a degree. So I really would like say to people, I would look into it as an option just because there's so many benefits from it.
Mm. I know it's if you've got is it a 4 year scholarship you're doing, like a 4 year program? Yeah. So I know it's a few years away, but do you have sort of plans of what you're going to do after that? Are you going to just come back to England, start competing in ITFs and WTAs, hopefully, or you're not quite sure whether it's full time yet?
Yeah, like I think obviously it's quite a way away, but I definitely want to play like the pro circuit afterwards. Because I'm gonna start doing that in summer. Like obviously that was my plan this year, but obviously things changed because of the virus. But my plan was to play ITS during the summer to keep my ranking, and then so then when I come out, it would be easy to get into tournaments. So it's like a almost like a kickstart. When I come out, I can just go straight in and play. But yeah, that's definitely the plan to go pro afterwards.
All right, so just moving on to pro tennis, and a topic that's talked about a lot is the in-play coaching that was trialed in the WTA, and there's lots of different opinions. I just sort of wondered what your opinion on the subject was, whether you like the idea of in-play coaching on the WTA.
Yeah, I think it is quite a good idea. I know some people think that it's not tennis, like because of the coaches, like you're supposed to be doing it on your own. But um, I mean, we have it in the states. Like the coaches are on the court, and I enjoy that. Like sometimes you don't need them. Like people think that you use them all the time, but you don't. I think it would make games more exciting. Um, and then we also did trial it in the juniors, and that was good. I enjoyed that. You could go, the coach could come on for like a part of the match, and or you'd like have to move to the coach. They were quite strange rules because it was a trial, but I really enjoyed that, and I again like enjoy it in the States, so I wouldn't mind it being on the WTA tour personally.
Yeah, it's an interesting sort of debate because I think there's certain players that can like sort of problem solve better and are capable of having that real mental strength and working it out by themselves, and they could feel as if the other player got help to do that, then their mental advantage would sort of not be an advantage anymore. So it is certainly an interesting topic, but yeah, I think at a junior level and ITF level, it's certainly beneficial in that sense. But just moving on and talking about the WTA again, there's obviously lots of youngsters coming through. When you look at Andreescu and Ostapenko and Gauff and Osaka, which player do you particularly like watching? And is there any women's players you study and really learn from and help to develop your own game?
Young players, I think Corey is doing such an amazing job. Like she's so young. She's quite a humble girl anyway. I've played her a few times on the junior circuit about 2 years ago.
Mm.
And yeah, so I really admire what she's doing. I think she's doing a great job, and hope she can keep it up. But specifically for me, I really like Ash Barty. I like her game style, and I
Mhm.
think because she almost is a more skillful player, like I think that's what I sort of look at more because that's sort of what I do as well.
Yeah, I think she's a great player. Well deserved number one.
Mm.
She had a really good Australian Open. I think people forget she's young. She's still only 23. Ash Barty,
Mm.
a huge career ahead of her because she took a break out of the sport, didn't she, to go and play cricket, which a lot of people don't know. But yeah, she's a thoroughly entertaining player, and I think if you had to pick sort of a youngster that you think could win multiple Grand Slams and sort of pull away from their competitors, who do you sort of think that could be?
Um, I think probably Andreescu. Like she's already won one, and she's so young, so she could probably do that again. I think Corey will probably do that as well, but it's really she is so young that
Mm.
you don't know. But I think in a few years' time she'll be really up there. So
Yeah,
yeah.
I think it's important that golf doesn't have too much pressure on her too early because she's only still 15. I think
Mm.
Naomi Osaka obviously came through 18, 19 and won them back-to-back Grand Slams and got to world number one. And I
Mm.
think last year she sort of struggled with that pressure of being number one and always being the favourite. So it's how much you think sort of it is challenging to mentally to cope that sort of pressure from the media and from the fans because it does look as if Osaka sort of struggle with that, but she still is very young.
Yeah. I think you must feel a lot of pressure. Like you've got it in your mind anyway. Like I know sometimes players without the media struggle after like a few wins. Like people think, oh, if you win, you'll gain confidence, and yeah, you usually
Mm.
do. But sometimes you've got more people watching you, so you feel that pressure. But for me personally, I just think of why I'm playing it, and that's because I enjoy it. And so you just got to keep remembering that and remembering to enjoy everything you do about it because that's why you do it. Really, at the end of the day.
Yeah, of course. So just moving on to men's tennis quickly as well. There's obviously the big debate at the minute about the next gen coming through. You immediately look at the likes of Tsitsipas and Medvedev and Zverev. Obviously, Nadal and Djokovic have won the last 8 Grand Slams between them, so they've dominated recently in the past couple of years. And there's always the big question of when you think the next gen will come through and eventually win a Grand Slam. So, for you, who do you think is most likely of the next gen group to win a Grand Slam, and where do you think that would most likely happen?
Um, I think I think team is like really close. Like
Yeah,
French Open, he's like been in the last two finals, I think.
yeah,
Um, so obviously he's really close on the clay, but he's also like dominant on other courts too. So I think he will likely be like the first one to win a slam. But I mean, it could be anyone because like Zverev's won the ATP Tour finals, so who knows? Like, but I know like the like the big three really are just dominating right now, but it could change at any time.
I think if one of them breaks through and wins the tournament, it could completely just throw up. But I think while Djokovic and Nadal are sort of peaking at these Grand Slam events, it's very difficult to stop them over a 5-set marathon.
Mm.
And yeah, just lastly, obviously talking about men's tennis again, the big three, as you mentioned, have dominated this decade, and you've got Federer on 20 Grand Slams, Rafa on 19, and Djokovic on 17. If you had to have a choice of who you think will finish with the most at the end of all the careers, who would you pick to top the Grand Slam list by the end?
It's a tough one because you don't really know how long Roger's going to play for. But just the way Djokovic has been playing, I think he's going to win more, just because he's just really like improving his level like all the time. So I think he might end up with the most, but there's still like Rafa who's still winning on clay. So I really don't know. And then obviously Roger's still doing amazing. So it'll be really close. But yeah.
We'll agree on Djokovic because I'm a Djokovic fan as well, so we'll agree on him. But yeah, so ideally, I know it's difficult to say really with this coronavirus, but when is your season meant to start in America? And is there any plans for you to go back yet and continue your studies in tennis? Or
Yeah, I'm thinking we're going to go back in August. I think that's what the university hopes to do. I know they're starting to phase sports back in now, which is like promising. So I'll probably go back for like normal term time, but I'm not sure about like competition, like because we do have full tournaments. So I'm not sure if those are going to happen or if they might happen later on. But our season isn't until January anyway, so I'm pretty confident that that will go ahead as normal. But yeah, just sort of waiting and seeing and staying in touch with the team.
perfect. So if you had last question is if you had you could achieve one thing in tennis later down your professional career, what would it be? What's the dream goal in tennis for you?
I think it's win a Grand Slam. That's got to be the one.
Has to
Yeah,
be, doesn't it? Anyway, so thanks for joining me today. I really appreciate it, and best of luck with the rest of your degree and obviously your tennis. And hopefully, we'll talk again one day.
yeah. Well, thanks so much for having me. Really enjoyed it.
No problem. Thanks a lot.